Sometimes you get it right the second time around. Kick it! Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. Thank all new subscribers, thank all people commenting. I love commenting back and talking about music. And of course, the first video I did in this series where the debut album was the strongest. Of course, I missed a lot of bands. I can't go over them all. I try to get the bands that I have the vinyl for and all that. Of course, a big omission, because I featured these bands in the vinyl on this channel, of course, would be The Doors and Culture Club. Boy meet Jim, Jim meet Boy. And also alternative bands like Sundays, Jane's Addiction, I believe, if you count their debut as Nothing Shocking, I believe that's a better album than Ritual de Habitual. But anyway, let's go to the sophomore. Now, people say there's a sophomore jinx. Usually it's referring to major label bands where they get signed for that first album, and those are songs that the band's been working on for a while and fine-tuning, and then they go on the road, you know, promote that first album, and then they get a hit or two on it, and then the big suits at the major labels go, hey, let's put another record out, boys, and they have less time to refine the songs. They've just spent all the time on the road, they're kind of burnt out, and they push out that second album, and it's usually not as good as the first. That's the sophomore jinx. These bands were able to overcome that, and in my opinion, their second record was their best. I took 15 bands, and let me show you these 15. And now that I'm thinking about 15, let me add 16. I'm not going to pull the vinyl out, but Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil is their best record by far. For some reason I thought Theater of Pain. That one sucks. That's their third. So added bonus for you the watcher, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil is the best one. But let's go with these 15. Def Leppard, band formed around 1980 in England. Of course, they debuted with this, On Through the Night. Great record, setting a tone, kind of like AC/DC light kind of a thing. And they come out with High and Dry, 1981, a great year. And this is a fantastic album. And for me, it is better than Pyromania and even better than Hysteria with all those singles on Hysteria. I just like this one more. They kept it a rock formula. High and Dry, You Got Me Running, Let It Go, On Through the Night, the song, Bringing on the Heartbreak with Switch 625. What a classic. Def Leppard, never been better than their 1981 release, High and Dry. Speaking about 1981, of course that's when Metallica formed, and they put out their record Kill 'Em All in '83. It only took them 2 years to be like, hey, let's kick the world's butt with this one, Kill 'Em All. And I love this record, but if I'm going to pick a favorite Metallica record, I gotta go year after this rather, to 1984. Same year, 84, was released by Van Halen, so that was kind of heavy metal. And then what the hell is this sound coming from? This stuff was heavy when you first heard it in 84. Metallica, Ride the Lightning, Fight Fire with Fire, unbelievable fast song. Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, shows that they can get sensitive. Trapped Under Ice, love that song. Escape, Creeping Death, what a classic, and a Call of Cthulhu. Trapped Under Ice is just a great song. It's just, you feel the sense of being trapped under ice. I learned about Metallica just after this came out, or right before Master of Puppets, because then when Master of Puppets came out, my friend made me a tape. Remember when your friends would dupe tapes? And on one side was Ride the Lightning, and the other side was Master of Puppets. And I remember playing the Ride the Lightning side a little more. Of course, when you talk about Metallica, you usually got to talk about Megadeth, formed in '83. Killing is Business and Business is Good. That's a great record. I didn't like the production on it too much, and the songs need to be kind of refined for me. I'm going to go with my favorite record is their debut from 1986, Peace Sells, Who's Buying. I love this record. Wake Up Dead's probably my favorite song from them. You got The Conjuring, Peace Sells, Devil's Island, Good Morning Black Friday, Bad Omen. I ain't superstitious. I can kind of toss that one out. But My Last Words, another great one. A lot of people like Rest in Peace or some of their other Megadeth records, but for me, their second is their best. Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? Let's get a little poppy, shall we? Let's talk about a pop band called Oasis, from across the pond, as we say. Formed in 1991, another great year. The 1 years are great. 71, 81, 91. Those are great years. So they came out with Definitely Maybe in 94. Good ones, got great songs, don't get me wrong, but to me, they just needed a little more time to make some fine wine. And coming out with What's the Story, Morning Glory. I heard this on CD. I bought it when I was on the road with the band in a store in California. Brought it back to the person's house we were staying. Put it in their little CD changer player. And I remember sleeping on this couch, just listening to stuff. Chilling on the couch and going, this is good stuff. This is great stuff. It's my favorite Oasis album. Came out in 1995. Roll with it. You got Wonderwall. You got Don't Look Back and Anger. And of course, one of my favorite slow songs of all time, Champagne Supernova. A song so nice. I don't even like champagne or wine or any of that stuff, but I wish I wrote it. 7 minutes and 27 seconds of just nice, sweet perfection there. Oasis, my favorite record from them. Their second one, What's the Story? More in Glory. Another band from across that pond, the Sabbath. You would know them as Black Sabbath. Of course, their debut is a great one. Don't get me wrong. It is a fantastic record. It's evil. And why do I have it out of order? I have no idea. This is a reissue, of course. Great record. But to me, if I'm going to pick one Black Sabbath record where I really think that they are firing on all cylinders, non-stop rock and roll, I'm going to go with their second one, Paranoid. And it's a weird cover. Little blurry guy. I guess this is when you're drunk and you go into battle. This is what you see. But fairies wear boots, Electric Funeral, Iron Man, of course, Paranoid, War Pigs. Oh, this is good stuff. I believe this came out in 1972. That's the year before I was born. Ozzy's like, I'm going to go solo eventually. So I'm going to put my picture way over here because eventually I'm going solo. But yeah, this is good stuff. Yeah, 1970. Wow. I mean, this is more than class. This is like classical rock at this point. 70, that's like a million years ago. And it still holds up. It's unbelievable. If you like heavy metal, you gotta get this. So, yeah, my favorite Black Sabbath record is the second one, Paranoid. A band I find also across the pond that gets overlooked a lot. Some would refer to them as a one-hit wonder. I don't know why. I really love their music. Talking about Jesus Jones. Their debut was Liquidizer. And a little blender going crazy there. Came out in 89. And my favorite, and probably their most popular album by far, because it's got their one hit on it right here, right now, is Doubt. And this is a great music experience. It's not a concept album, but to me it plays like one. Every song just kind of goes right into the other. And it is a great, great record. A little bit of electronic, but pretty much a rock band. When I saw them live, and they had the loud guitars and everything like that, so sure they have a keyboard player and stuff, and the drums kind of sound electric at times. They're acoustic drums, but man, when I saw them live, they turned the guitar and they were just a heavy band. Great stuff. They just came through here, and I missed them, but I did see them a few years ago. Yeah, but the first time I saw them, they were on the tour for this record, and this is my favorite from them, their sophomore effort, Doubt. Let's get some punk rock into this list, shall we? Tim Armstrong and the boys. Of course, Tim left Operation Ivy, and everyone disbanded, and Tim started this Rancid band, Adina, Hyena, Rats in the Hallway. Great stuff. Rejected. Great stuff. This was their debut, but for me, I like the one after this. Formed in 91. They put this out in 93. In 94, they put this out. I actually was in a band, and we were on the road, and we played some shows with them as this came out, and this was good stuff. And like an idiot, in between shows when we were just hanging out with the boys here, Lars and Matt and Brett and Tim. Brett was one of the nicest guys I ever met. Drummers are always nice. I should have asked them, hey, do you mind signing this? That would be kind of cool, right? But back then, you're trying to be cool. You're trying to be like, yeah, I'm hanging out with Rancid, no big deal. Oh, we're just playing a show with Rancid, and stuff like that. But I don't know. Looking back, I should have been, hey, can you sign this? That would have been cool, huh? Oh, I think this is white vinyl, too. But for me, yeah, it's a little more polished, I would say. Yeah, look at that, white vinyl. A little more polished, I would say. They got Lars Fredriksson in the band. His was his first album with him on it. I think they were more polished as a four-piece, I want to say. The songs, really good. A lot of songs, man. That's good about punk bands. The songs are short. You can fit a million songs on it. But Nihilism, Radio, Let's Go. I mean, this is good stuff. Dope Sick Girl. 7 Years Down. I do like that debut. But by a hair, and because this record just means a lot to me for a timestamp of what was going on in my life. Yeah, their sophomore effort, Let's Go, my favorite record from Rancid. Time flies as you get older, is growing up. You're like, 3-4 years ago, that was a long time ago. But as an older person, like 10, 20 years still seems kind of recent. So one of the more recent bands that I like, even though they're not that recent, is Fun. a little pop band called Fun, although they're kind of on hiatus. I hope they come back, but who knows. Their debut was Aim and Ignite. I love it. But to me, their second, and as of now, their final, who knows, record, Some Nights, man, it's one of the perfect records. It just is a pop rock perfection. I saw them on this tour. It was good stuff. Some Nights, We Are Young. I mean, the high range he has on his voice, catchy stuff. It's just got enough rock in it that you're not turned off by, oh, it's just pop crap. It's really good stuff. And to me, yeah, the best record from Fun is their sophomore effort, Some Nights. Some more punk rock featuring the late, great Kim Schtuck, one of my favorite female singers. I'm eventually going to do a top 5 female singer video, and she is going to break that top 5 easily. Got the best female scream in rock and roll ever. This is their debut, and they were a 4-piece. Good stuff. It's really catchy, and I love it. But to me, their sophomore effort, no jinx on them, was a little better. Blonde to Blonder, Sad Tomorrow, Oh Nina, my favorite songs from them. It's just good stuff. So to me, it's got a funny face on it. Oh, great stuff. Man, Kim, you are missed. You are rock and roll through and through. So yeah, from the Muffs, my favorite one was their sophomore record, Blonder. As I say, Blonde, Blonder, duh. Blonder and Blonder. Let's get back to some heavy metal. Dokken formed in, I think, around 78. He was kicking around. I think he even helped the Scorpions out with some vocals and stuff like that. I believe they came out with like 2 versions of their debut. It's pretty much like 2 EPs worth of songs put together. So this will officially act as their debut. But to me, if you're going to get rocking with Dokken, you got to get their sophomore effort. And that is Tooth and Nail. I remember seeing this cover. I don't even know if I heard them. I just saw this cover at a record store way back in the 80s and just loved it. And this record to me is their best. Tooth and Nail is great. Just Got Lucky. That was heavily played on MTV. Of course, their slower song, Alone Again, was also. But to me, Under Lock and Key is great. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm going to play one record of theirs, it's going to be their sophomore debut. Their sophomore effort, Tooth and Nail by Dokken. Just a few left. Of course, Killer Dwarfs, heavy metal band from Canada. This is their debut. My favorite from them is their sophomore effort. Record number 2 from them, Stand Tall. It's got their big song, Keep the Spirit Alive. But to me, if you're going to go song by song by song, kind of how the album flows, I like all their albums, but to me, this is my favorite one, their sophomore record, Stand Tall. Blackie Lawless and the Boys pulled out the wrong record. I do have their debut, I was going to show that, but that's not my favorite of theirs. If I'm listening to one w.a.s.p record, I saw them on this tour as they opened for Kiss. It's The Last Command. I don't know if it's Blackie's favorite, because I think he likes how he grew into more of a writer and other stuff. He probably likes that Crimson Idol thing way more. But to me, if I got to pick one w.a.s.p record, I would say this one for sure. Wild Child, Fistful of Diamonds, Jack Action, Blind in Texas, The Last Command, Sex Drive. This is good stuff. So if I'm picking one w.a.s.p record, I'm picking their sophomore effort, The Last Command. Of course, we talked about Black Sabbath. We've discussed a lot of heavy metal bands. Can't keep that conversation going without including the late, great Ronnie James Dio. This is his debut, Holy Diver. Great record, and I tell you, this was a hard choice because I'm like, yeah, this is his best. But then I went back, and I think I like Last in Line a little more. This was a sophomore effort, Last in Line. Another great release from 1984. We rocked Last in Line, Ice Speed at Night, Evil Eyes, Mystery, probably my favorite Ronnie James Dio song. Of course, ends with Egypt, The Chains Are On. I mean, yeah, great vocal performance, great musicianship on this one. Vivian Campbell, of course, playing guitar with him at this point. This is good stuff. My favorite Ronnie James Dio record is a sophomore effort, The Last in Line. We got 2 more to go. We're going to go second to last with a little band from San Fran called Faith No More. Of course, when Chuck Mosley was singing with them, they put out this record, their debut. I liked it a lot, had it on tape when it came out, and then this one came out, and I'm like, it sounds different. Why does it sound different? Well, they got a brand new singer, a guy called Mike Patton, who's in like 600 bands at the same time, and this was really great. This kind of started pulling me away from heavy metal that was kind of predictable to kind of alternative heavy metal. And then, of course, I went into the alternative punk scene heavily. But, yeah, this record was really showing me that there's a lot more than just, you know, Poison or Rat. That was kind of the same formula. This record just blew me away when it came out. I believe it came out in '89. From Out of Nowhere, Epic, Falling to Pieces, Surprise You're Dead, The Real Thing. The Real Thing was like one of the first like rap. I don't like crossover rap heavy metal stuff. I hate like the rap new metal stuff. I hate that. Hate it with passion. But this didn't bother me at times. It wasn't overplayed at the time. It was like, oh, you had Run DMC doing Aerosmith. You had some Anthrax rapping. And then you had this. It wasn't overdone at this point. It was kind of still new and fresh. So The Real Thing, yeah, it was really good. If I'm going to pick one Faith No More record, for sure I'm picking The Real Thing. And I'm sure I missed a lot. So in the comments below, let me know what your favorite sophomore releases are. We'll end it with this one. The singer, of course, now is more known for Flogging Molly. But at the time, Mr. Dave King was teaming up with Fast Eddie Clarke, ex-Motorhead, and he was doing Fastway. They do have a debut. It is great. But for me, well, along with the soundtrack for Trick or Treat, I think this one beats it by a hair. It's their second one, their sophomore record. Of course, that's why it's on this list. All fired up. Just great cover art. Great songs. I used to play this over and over when I was learning drums and trying to copy what I was hearing on the turntable there. Another great release from 1984. All fired up. Steal the show. It's good stuff. Alright, well that concludes the list, and that shows that not every band has to fall for that sophomore slump. These are great records, my favorite records from the band that happen to be their sophomore release. Thanks for watching.